The only two remaining undefeated teams in the FBS will face off Saturday night in Indy. The Big Ten championship game giving us Ohio State versus Indiana, 1 versus 2, which is very rare, by the way. It's just the third conference championship game ever between the AP number 1 and number 2 teams, with the other two times being in 08 and 09 with Alabama and Florida. So the excitement for this one is real, as is the Buckeyes' past domination of Indiana. They won 30 straight games against them. That's the longest active win streak in any FBS head-to-head matchup as Indiana prepares for their first Big Ten championship game appearance in school history. So nobody better than the former Ohio State great Beanie Wells and Ben Dinucci, who played for Curt Cignetti at James Madison, to help get us set for Saturday. Fellas, just having y'all on, I feel like it raises the excitement for this game. And first off, Beanie, I'll ask you this. When you see a 1 versus a 2 in front of the names of the schools, what feeling does that bring up?
Oh, man, it instantly for me brings up a situation in which I was privy to be a part of, and that's the 1 versus 2 game in 2006 versus the University of Michigan. That game was so ecstatic. There was a lot of hype around it. So this being a similar situation, 2 teams within conference, 1 versus 2 meeting up in a Big Ten championship game, it's going to be exciting. There's going to be a lot of hype around it. These are 2 historic programs, maybe not historic for Indiana in terms of their football team, but obviously the university has been great, but their football team, doing something historic, getting to a Big Ten conference championship, and then being undefeated in their first time ever being ranked this high. It's going to be an exciting moment this weekend.
I'm excited for a couple of different reasons. One being that my former head coach at James Madison, by the way, I'm showing no bias here to my JMU Dukes, by the way.
Go ahead, Ben.
They should be in the playoff. That's a story for a different time. But I'm excited to experience a Curt Cignetti game day kind of on the other side of things. I'm going to be at the game Saturday night. I'm excited to get down there. I'm excited to kind of feel all the emotions, see all the emotions without necessarily having to get smacked around and have a million things to worry about and blitz packages from Ohio State. So I think this is going to be a great game. I'm excited to see kind of how Indiana handles the situation, handles the environment. This is kind of uncharted territory for them this year. I know they were in the playoff last year, didn't make the Big Ten championship. This is the first one in school history. So really excited to see how they handle everything. And what more can you ask for? Number 1 versus number 2 before the college football playoff? Come on, sign me up.
Yeah, Ben, and then you take that a step further. You're like, okay, number 1 versus number 2 in the country. Number 1 versus number 3 when it comes to the Heisman odds. Julian Sayin and Fernando Mendoza in a QB battle that could have a lot of weight of who we see winning that trophy in New York coming up in a few weeks. When you look at this game specifically, Ben, which QB do you say is set up better for success?
I'm going to have to give the nod to Ohio State and Julian Sayin here. And the reason I say that is because when you look at the offensive firepower for Ohio State, the Jeremiah Smith, Carnell Tate, he's throwing to 2 bona fide, probably first-round picks, right? And 2 guys that are going to go high in the first round. And when you look at Sayin this year, 79% completion percentage in 6 sacks. I mean, that's unbelievable. It's hard to do in Madden. It's hard to do in high school. It's hard to do at any level. So the efficiency that Julian Sayin's been playing with this year, you can see the stats there. I mean, it jumps off the stage. But he's playing unbelievable, playing really efficient. I know they haven't really been tested like this Indiana team has, but I'm going to give the slight edge to Julian Sayin and Ohio State with the quarterback position in this one.
Yeah, it makes it.
Both of these quarterbacks have been so great, but I actually got to go with Fernando Mendoza. I think it helps to obviously have a veteran guy, a veteran presence back there. But then when you look on the outside of who he's throwing to some guys that I believe will probably be day 2 picks in Elijah Surratt and Omar Cooper Jr. And then they have a dual-headed monster in the backfield. So he has those guys, Black and Hemby, at his disposal at any given moment. I mean, when you look at everything that, Indiana and Fernando Mendoza possesses, I mean, I think their offense is set up for success. And the one thing that I think he gives you that you necessarily don't get out of Julian Sayin is he's a +1 in the run game. We've seen him pull the ball down and be effective outside of the pocket with his legs. I think he has, 6 rushing touchdowns. So I like Fernando Mendoza in terms of being set up more for success.
Oh, shout out to you, Beanie. If you can give the check mark here over to not Ohio State for you, I think that shows you're being impartial. You're giving that good analysis that we want to see. I love that. So then let's see how you feel about this.
I didn't think Beanie was allowed to do that.
Hey, maybe that's why he's not going to the game. You know, Ben, I don't know, but we'll see him in studio in New York on Saturday instead. But let's talk run game here, because I feel like on paper, Beanie, you look at it and you really would give the check mark over to Indiana. More stats there, more rush yards per game. But which room do you like more for success?
You know, I like Indiana's run game more. I can't even believe I'm saying this. I'm going the first two checking off boxes for Indiana's offense. I love the dual-headed monster that they have in Black and Kalen Black and Roman Hemby. Those guys have been so dominant. And the more important thing, you know, when we look at Indiana's run game is they've been more consistent. Ohio State has gotten it going as of late, but it's been inconsistent throughout the season. I think when you go back and you look at consistency, you look at the efficiency on the offensive line and them opening up gaping holes for the run game, Indiana certainly has that advantage. And I'm scratching my head right here, man, because I can't believe I'm truly doing this and saying this right now on live TV, but Indiana has that advantage. It is crazy to me.
I'm going to agree with you here too, Beanie. And I think you hit the nail on the head with the last portion. For one, Indiana, it's really a four-headed attack. They've got Hemby, they've got Black, they've got Martin, and they've got Mendoza. And you said it perfectly. I think the threat that Fernando Mendoza poses with his legs in the run game, just for Matt Patricia and how he calls it defense, it's going to make you have to think a little bit differently and call that game a little differently. If we get into third down and short, whatever it is, and all of a sudden he wants to jump into man coverage, he's going to have to think about spying Mendoza, because there's going to be a couple plays during this game Saturday night where Mendoza's going to use his legs, and it's going to change the course of the game. And when you look at Indiana, I think they've had to, you know, kind of figure out ways to win with the run game. They've had, Elijah Surratt's been out a couple weeks, you know, in the receiver room, so they've had to rely on these guys in the back end to get the job done. So I'm going to agree with you. I'm going to give the edge to Indiana on the ground in this one.
So two opportunities for Beanie to go with Ohio State. He's gone with Indiana in both of those chances. Now we get to the head coach portion of it all. So Ryan Day and Curt Cignetti. Beanie, I'll go you first here. Who do you give the edge to?
I got to give the edge to Ryan Day. And we know he's a battle-tested coach. He's played in several big games, and he's shown up in big moments, and I think he's always had his team prepared. The one thing when you look at Ohio State that you're never going to question on if they are mentally prepared and know what they're doing out there on the football field, Ryan Day does a great job of pitting his players in position to make plays on both sides of the ball, and then just coupled with the entire staff that he has at his disposal. We talk about the defensive coordinator, Matt Patricia, how exciting this defense has been, how much far and beyond better they've been from last year's national championship winning team. Ryan Day gets the edge because he's been there and he has a track record of being battle tested.
Not so fast, Beanie. I'm going Curt Cignetti on this one. I can't go against my guy. Here's why I say this. I think Curt Cignetti lives for these moments. I think he wakes up in the morning, wakes up every week. When he sees Ohio State on the schedule this Saturday, he's saying to himself, I got to get this one. I got to figure out how to get this one. Whatever it is, I think he's got a really bad taste in his mouth last year from how this Indiana team came out and played against Notre Dame. He's not used to getting smacked around like that. At JMU, we didn't have really any games where anyone tossed us around like that. This year, I think this Indiana team is different than last year. They went into Oregon, beat Oregon. You saw a couple weeks ago against Penn State, having to finish that one off in the fourth quarter. So I think this Indiana team is a little more battle-tested right now. I think Curt Cignetti is going to have a couple game plan specific plays, a couple kind of wrinkles in the game plan this week, and he'll be ready for this Matt Patricia defense. I also think kind of underrated the loss of Brian Hartline to South Florida, I think could have an impact on this game as well in that receiver room. So I'm going to give the edge to Curt Cignetti here. I think he's ready for this. I think in year two at Indiana, he's got these boys ready to roll. control what you can control, keep the main thing the main thing. If I know anything about Curt Cignetti, he's going to be telling these guys, don't look at the opponent. Let's focus on ourselves, what we need to do, play a four-quarter battle, and after 60 minutes, let's look up and see if we got more points than these guys.
That's certainly how I expected the two of you guys to go for your coaching predictions there. And I guess they call it the Woody over there at Ohio State. Beanie, you're allowed back in there because of that, what you just said. Now we need to get to who you guys think will win. I'll give you 30 seconds each. Ben, you first. Who takes it home?
Who do I think is going to win and who do I want to win might be two different answers. But who do I think is going to win? I got to go Ohio State. It's just the complementary ball, offense, defense, the way that Sayan's been playing this year, that receiver room. They've been really hot down the stretch. The running game's got going the last couple weeks. So I think it's going to be Ohio State in a close one. I'm hoping for a lot of points. I think it's either going to be 50-49 or 3-0. So hopefully it's not 3-0. Hopefully we see a lot of points on Saturday night. And these two quarterbacks, these two head coaches can let it rip, call some plays. But I'm going to give the slight edge to Ohio State in this one.
50-49. Come on, Ben. I know you've seen this Ohio State defense. They don't give up any points. And I know, Fernando Mendoza is obviously a Heisman candidate, one of the best quarterbacks in the country. But I just think the defense for Ohio State is going to be too stifling. When you look at the pressure that they apply, the defensive linemen that they have, Kenyatta Jackson, Caden Curry, Caden McDonald, they are so dominant at the point of contact. And then we go back into the back seven. We look at, guys like Caleb Downs, who's consistently making plays all across the field, Sonny Styles, Arvell Reese. We're going to win this game. And I'm saying we because I'm still a Buckeye at heart. Ohio State's going to win this game because of their defense. And then obviously, like you talked about, Ben, they can play complementary football. They're going to be able to move the chains on the offensive side and score points. But that defense that Matt Patricia is rolling out there on the football field is probably one of the better defense, not just this season in college football, but it probably will go down as one of the better defenses in college football history. And we all know defense wins championships, and it's going to be no different on Saturday.
You can tell that Beanie's super excited because that was way more than 30 seconds. Thanks, fellas. I appreciate it. Ben Dinucci and Beanie Wells. We'll see you later on down the way. Cover 3 podcast where you can get even more football, even more analysis like what we just did. Like, subscribe, scan that QR code.